This is News 8 Now, this morning.
It was such a hard, difficult decision because we are put in this place because the state legislature refuses to fund public education appropriately.
It's really important that we engage those individuals and understand that there are a lot of really great careers in construction.
What the world needs now is understanding, compassion, and two ideas. The whole idea of faithfulness, the whole idea of being kind and gentle.
We want to make a difference, or we want to help make a difference. We have met so many people that we never would have met if we hadn't have done the volunteer work.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for watching News 8 Now. I'm Dua Esrar. That's Derek Sibley. It is Thursday, January 26th. Thank you for waking up alongside us. We're going to start with weather. Derek, it was a little colder and snowier today. I walked out and I was like, I have to clean my car. I wasn't expecting that.
See, that's why you have to get a garage to us. That way you don't have those issues.
You know, that's asking for a lot. You're just like, here's a solution, get a garage.
Get a garage. That's what I got. And I don't have to worry about brushing off the car.
Oh, you lucky duck.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, this morning you might have to do that here on your morning commute because there is some snow that's still falling across portions of the area, more so off to the north. You can see portions of Eau Claire County into Independence, around Trempealeau County, especially around Independence, as a matter of fact. Looking at some heavier snow currently falling. Meanwhile, there's some very light scattered snow across portions of our southern zones here to work with this morning. Current conditions everywhere else, just looking at some cloudy and some flurry conditions out there with temperatures at 19 degrees currently now in Winona. Here's what we can expect, though, throughout the rest of the day. A few more snow showers between now and around 8 o'clock, and then only very slim chances between 10 to 2 o'clock. Mostly cloudy skies throughout the rest of the afternoon before clearing skies arrive late this afternoon, also as we head into this evening hours. At the same time, those temperatures will be falling into the upper teens to low 20s, making it a much colder day for us to work with. But we'll have more of these details about the snow in the full weather forecast and as far as what our next system could bring here too. Dua?
Sounds good. It's time to layer up, though.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those days today.
Oh, darn. All right. Well, thanks, Derek. We'll check back with you later. Well, let's get to some news this morning. We share the news that the La Crosse School District will have another referendum on April's ballot. It will be up to the voters to help fund La Crosse's public schools. The district is asking for $60 million to maintain operations after the board voted Monday night to close Lincoln Middle School. News 8 Now's Emily Haugen explains why now.
If we could add just a bit more buffer time for those people who are going to be most affected.
A 2-hour debate.
I think that if we're talking about doing what's best for this district, we just have to make some decisions.
Leading to one decision.
The ayes have it, and we will be closing Lincoln Middle School effective August 31, 2022.
6-2.
We don't always agree, but we know how to work together. We know how to deliberate together, and we know how to move forward even when we disagree.
A vote to close the nearly 100-year-old Lincoln Middle School.
It was such a hard, difficult decision because we are put in this place because the state legislature refuses to fund public education appropriately.
Jimenez said the vote had to happen on Monday.
The day after was the absolute last day to file a referendum.
Superintendent Aaron Engels says closing Lincoln clears $1.5 million of the district's more than $19 million budget deficit. The vote drops the total of middle schools in La Crosse down to 2. Now, boundary lines haven't been decided yet, but if they follow the high school boundaries, kids living north of Ferry Street will go to Logan Middle School. Kids living south of Ferry Street will go to Longfellow Middle School. But Engels says that's just one option.
Our goal as we make this transition is an opportunity to make things more simple for our students and our families and keep kids together.
And now on the ballot this April, a $60 million referendum.
Those funds will touch every corner of our school district, really.
Engels says this referendum will help maintain what the district has to offer.
It would be a devastating loss that would really impact our school district if we're not able to approve this referendum as we move forward.
Things like mental health services, building maintenance, and keeping class sizes small.
To be able to accommodate the underfunding that the state has provided.
In La Crosse, Emily Haugen, News 8 Now. Taxpayers would be paying for the $60 million referendum over the course of the next 6 years.
It will cost taxpayers $29 a year for every $100,000 of property value. And the board says this $60 million is a conservative ask to make up for the lack of state funding. Well, Central High School students are getting a taste of the workforce. Teens in the Architecture, Construction, and Engineering Academy will work together this semester to help build a house. The two-year program will prepare high school juniors and seniors for careers in the construction industry. Students took a little break from their house project to visit J.F. Brennan in La Crosse. Brennan employees say that experiences like these help teens feel confident before entering the workforce.
It's really important that we engage those individuals and understand that there are a lot of really great careers in construction.
Throughout the program, students will have opportunities to job shadow and apprenticeship opportunities. Central students joined a boat dock project on La Crosse's south side. They say it's refreshing to work on a project near the river.
It's definitely cool to see what goes on because, I mean, La Crosse relies on the river. We use it for everything.
Paff says the program has helped strengthen bonds between him and his classmates. Wisconsin Challenge Academy has reached 2 major milestones. The program is in its 25th year, and they welcomed their 50th class. 140 newcomers arrived to Fort McCoy and said goodbye to their families ahead of their 5.5-month stay at Challenge Academy. Jeremiah Ritchie is a cadet in Class 50, and his grandfather Howard joined him for his send-off. As a Vietnam veteran, Howard knows that programs like these can be difficult at times, but he's confident that it could change his grandson's life forever.
I believe that if he succeeds in this, he'll have no problem whatsoever doing what he wants to be, but he got to stay focused.
Approximately 92% of cadets finish the program and earn their high school equivalency diploma. 4,400 cadets have graduated over the years. 3 La Crosse community members are officially receiving recognition for their service to others. Sue and Mark Schultz and Friar Conrad Turgonski are the latest to receive Iverson Frecking Awards for their commitment to acceptance and overall service to their community. Turgonski is a retired Marine and chaplain at Viterbo, while the Schultz have worked in local government and are members of several organizations. They encourage all community members to get involved, try new things, and the result will be a better world.
What the world needs now is understanding and compassion, and two ideas, the whole idea of faithfulness, the whole idea of being kind and gentle.
We want to make a difference, or we want to help make a difference. We have met so many people that we never would have met if we hadn't have done the volunteer work.
Sue is partnering with the nonprofit Chalice of Mercy to organize more supplies and assistance to Ukraine. Her effort, Warm Hands and Paws, will send hand and foot warmers and pet food overseas. She says Quick Trip will collect any warmer and pet food donations if you'd like to contribute. Well, it's time for another round of La Crosse Soup. The Rivoli is hosting the crowdfunding event this evening, and everyone is invited to come get a bowl of soup, and for $5, they can earn 1 vote towards a community project. Doors will open at 5 p.m. Groups will make their pitches at 6, and a winner will be announced at 7. Organizers say there will be a special movie screening after the winner is announced. Well, still ahead on your morning news, the billionaire and research team that's hoping to prevent less cow methane will explain. And the White House's plan to fight the rising cost of rent. That and more after the break. But for now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. If you're a cheesehead, which it's hard not to be while you're living in Wisconsin, this may be your dream job. The website Sleep Junkie is looking for 5 dairy dreamers to test the theory that eating cheese before going to bed gives you nightmares. All you have to do is eat cheese before bed and journal about how well you slept. To apply, you must be at least 21 years old, have a device that tracks sleep, and be able to sleep alone during the trial. After 3 months, dairy dreamers will be paid $1,000 and will even be reimbursed for the cheese. I don't know about you, but I think I might sign up for that. Don't go anywhere. More News 8 Now this morning after the break.
Well, this morning we are watching some snowy weather here across portions of the area. In fact, you can see some of those snow flurries there from CityCam 8. Also, a few snow showers here that continue to move through the area, covering some of those roadways. For example, mainly across our central and northern zones, into Trempealeau and around the Independence area, also into Black River Falls around the Jackson County area, and into La Crosse County. We are watching some light snow showers move through downtown La Crosse and Interstate 90 here too. Also, a few light snow showers to the east. But let's take a look at your zone forecast today. La Crosse County high temperatures will be warming up only into the low 20s today, so we'll be much colder behind a cold front that moved through yesterday. Highs reaching around 25 today in Gays Mills, and highs reach around 21 in Whitehall today, 23 in Melrose, and 21 in Osseo. Meanwhile, across the north zones, we're looking at highs into the upper teens to low 20s. A check now on your schoolcast this morning. A few light snow flurries here for some of us, 23 degrees and mostly cloudy for the lunch hour. Still looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies around portions of the afternoon. Temperatures at 21. More details in that full weather forecast are still to come.
The maker of Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey faces a federal lawsuit because the mini bottles of the alcoholic beverage do not contain whiskey. The label on Fireball sold at liquor stores says whiskey with natural cinnamon flavor, but the labels on those smaller bottles say Fireball Cinnamon with no mention of whiskey. The lawsuit accuses the company of intentionally misleading customers into believing they are buying small bottles of the Fireball Cinnamon whiskey. Bill Gates is joining the cow feed industry. Gates announced he was investing in Rumen 8, an Australian startup developing a special feed that could reduce methane emissions. Nearly a third of global methane emissions come from livestock, but Rumen 8 is hoping to reduce those numbers by producing a replacement to cow feed using seaweed. Lab trials have shown seaweed is effective and can reduce up to 95% of methane emissions. The company is hoping to have small quantities of food available by the end of the year. The White House is announcing a plan to fight the high cost of rent. Michael George explains how the proposal aims to help renters who are feeling the squeeze more than ever.
From small towns to major cities, the cost of rent is sky high, and it's taking a toll on millions of Americans.
When I first moved, I was paying about $1,300, so now I'm at $2,400.
While prices have crept down in recent months, a report by Moody's found the average renter is spending 30% or more of their income on rent. That's an all-time high. Wednesday, the Biden administration announced a plan for a non-binding Renters' Bill of Rights. It includes actions like asking the FTC and Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to investigate unfair rental practices. The Justice Department will examine anti-competitive information sharing in rental markets. And HUD will look at a rule requiring public housing authorities to give tenants 30 days notice before terminating a lease due to non-payment of rent.
It's great to have the White House speak out about the importance of tenants' rights.
Seamus Roller is executive director of the National Housing Law Project, an advocacy group fighting on behalf of tenants. He calls the proposal a good beginning.
Is what the Biden administration proposing, does it have teeth? Will it actually help lower rents?
Nothing that they propose will lower rents overnight. Some of these things will have an impact over time.
Making the problem worse, many state and federal protections against evictions put in place during the pandemic are expiring.
We're not going to wait for a lawsuit to save us. We're not going to wait for incremental eviction protections to start saving us. That'd be great, but it's not coming fast enough.
Many tenants say if action isn't taken, they could be near the breaking point of losing their homes. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Tenants' rights advocates argue that the states need to take more action against issues like price fixing.
Well, this morning we are still watching snowy weather come down across portions of the area, and as a matter of fact, these are mainly here across our central and now spreading across portions of our eastern communities. In fact, you can see Trempealeau County right now getting in on some of the thick of the heavier snow moving through your area, especially around the Highway 53 area, and also further south into Jackson, into Monroe, and especially now into La Crosse County this morning, looking at some of that light snow pushing into your neighborhood. We're also, again, watching some light snow here firing up now across portions of Vernon County as well as down south here into just to the north of Orion and also along Highway 14 here to the south here as well. So for the rest of the day, we can expect mostly cloudy skies starting at noon and then mostly sunny at 4 o'clock here today. And then temperatures are really going to drop into those upper teens to low 20s come later this afternoon. Some of that snow that we see now is going to move towards the southeast and away from us, and then we're left over with cloudy skies throughout the rest of the day. There is a bit of clearing here moving in from the west. Notice how the clouds begin to dissipate here by the time we reach around noon today off to the west, and then really begin to dissipate across our western zones, western communities by the time we reach 2 o'clock in the afternoon. In fact, some areas may even see some sunshine by the time we reach 4 p.m. here around the La Crosse area, as well as into portions of Trempealeau here too. But then we start to see some cloudier weather begin to move right back in by the time we reach around the early evening, around 6 o'clock, and that trend will continue into tonight here and also overnight out ahead of this next storm system that is just off to the west of us right now. It's an Alberta Clipper, which is expected to give us our next best chance of seeing some snowy weather around here starting late overnight tonight and also into early tomorrow morning as the system continues to move through. Now, it's also going to be associated with a cold front here too, as you can see. Behind that cold front, we're expecting some much colder temperatures here to follow up with it. As of right now in La Crosse, it's 21 degrees with some light snow. Visibility being reduced here a little bit because of that snow. Meanwhile, to the north in Eau Claire, we're looking at some light snow here as well. Temperatures at around 18 degrees. 21 right now in La Crosse, and we're seeing 22 currently Black River Falls. 20 is the temperature now in Viroqua with our forecast high temperatures today, mainly into those low 20s. We're expecting highs to only reach around 22 if you're in Viroqua and 21 in Winona. Let's get a check on your 8-day forecast. You'll see that we will be looking at another chance of that snow here from that system moving in from the northwest on Friday and also lingering into the day on Saturday. Something we'll be watching out for you. Also, again, behind it, very cold air moves in as our high temperatures drop into the teens starting Sunday and then continue through, and as a matter of fact, into most of next week too, with low temperatures dropping below 0 here this weekend and next week at times. Stay with us, though. Much more news and weather is still to come on News 8 Now this morning. But for now, we're sending you to break with a look what happened on this day in history for January 26th. Well, we're watching some snowy weather across parts of the area, even a few light snow flurries here in downtown La Crosse. But a lot of this is mainly focused along our central and portions of our northern zones here too, moving their way towards the southeast. Current temperature readings are into the upper teens to low 20s, 21 in La Crosse now, 18 though if you're in Eau Claire. And we are watching for some more snow showers that will continue to move in across parts of the area this morning, followed by mostly cloudy skies into the afternoon and some sunnier conditions moving in late this afternoon into early this evening. We'll have a check on that commute forecast. We'll take a look at the roadways coming up next in weather.
Welcome to the Blitz. The UWL men's basketball team got a big conference win in Eau Claire over the weekend. They were back at it Wednesday night, this time on their home court against one of their biggest conference rivals. Let's head to Mitchell Hall. Eagles looking for their 16th win of the season, taking on rival UW Whitewater. Warhawks up early, but Eagles clawing back. Austin Westra count the bucket, +1. UWL within 2. Then it's Will Furman coming up with the steal. The junior takes it coast to coast, gets up high enough for the two-handed slam. We're tied at 24, but the Warhawks jump back in front. Miles Barnstable puts in 3 of his team-high 25. Whitewater takes a 2-point lead into the locker room. Second half, Eagles soar back off the miss. The freshman J.J. Pater with the board and the two-handed stuff. We're all tied at 36, but Barnstable putting the Warhawks on his back, driving to the cup, hoop, and the harm. Whitewater goes back on top. Eagles still fighting back. Torin Hanna from downtown knocks in the 3. It's 49-47, La Crosse up 2. But the Warhawks going to war in the paint. Check out this effort from Trayvon Chisholm, muscling in 2 of his 18. Whitewater goes up 1. And the Warhawks start pulling away. Jameer Barker to the cup. 3-point play the hard way. He's all fired up. Eagles lose another tough one at home as Whitewater holds on for the win 74-71. UWL falls to 15-5 on the season. Badgers back in action last night. Wisconsin taking on Maryland in College Park. Terps up 1 until Chucky Hepburn knocks down the 3. Badgers go back up 2, but then Maryland goes on a run off the steel Terrapins with numbers. Jameer Young ahead of the pack, lays it up and in. 7-point lead for the home team. Badgers battling back. Stephen Krause 3 cuts the deficit to just 4 at the break, but the Terps come out scorching in the second half again. It's Young, this time from behind the arc. That gives Maryland a 9-point lead. Badgers not going away. Tyler Wall going to work in the paint. Count it, +1. Wisconsin within 6, but Maryland too strong down low. Julian Reese rocks the rim, lead back up to 8, and the home team starts pulling away. Reese puts it in, plus the foul. Badgers fall 73-55. They're now 4-5 in conference play, 12-7 overall on the season. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
About 300 flights were canceled on Wednesday in Berlin, Germany. 6,000 ground staff members went on a one-day strike to demand a pay raise as negotiations have been slow moving. Nearly 35,000 passengers were affected. This is the first time since 2018 that so many flights were canceled by a work stoppage. According to the German trade union Verdi, the strike went on from 3:30 a.m. till the end of the day. A deadly wave of cold weather is tightening its grip around most of East Asia. The weather has killed at least 4 people in Japan after sub-zero temps and heavy snowfall halted Lunar New Year holiday travel. Japanese officials said the 4 people who died were working to clear the snow. South Korea also reached below zero temps and had to cancel hundreds of flights due to huge waves. A White Bear Lake police officer is in the hospital after investigators say the man he was trying to arrest shot him. It happened late Tuesday night at an apartment complex in White Bear Lake. WCCO's Jonah Kaplan spoke to witnesses about what they heard.
White Bear Lake police detectives, state investigators only wrapping up their investigation a few hours ago. The shooting happening on this end of this complex here, and all the residents, they were then moved and evacuated to this end. And granted, maybe only one police officer, that one person was injured, but emotional wounds here, that's going to take time to heal. Police scanner audio laying out the incident in real time. People inside this apartment complex living it.
3 big, heavy bangs, you know.
The scene safe on cars for medics come into.
Suspect hit, but I can't confirm.
I mean, I'm watching, armored cars come down with big steel shields and a guy with a sniper rifle behind it. I mean, it's just like watching a movie.
9174, walking or injured officer, don't remain injured. Get medics there now.
When I looked out here, there was a solid light show. There were police all over the place.
Investigators say police were there to serve a warrant for a 33-year-old man wanted for domestic violence. Officers first arriving at 9:30 p.m. Minutes later, neighbors describing shouting, then gunshots, then more shouting. One officer struck in the stomach. Police then going door to door to evacuate nearby neighbors, including Jim Saltness.
I can't hear the conversation, but it is screaming. They are screaming at each other. It's just kind of surreal. I mean, it's like a movie. It was a movie scene.
Residents finally allowed back in around 2 a.m. Saltness just stayed up until his morning shift started at 3.
Probably adrenaline, to be honest with you.
The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension has taken over this investigation. A Jackson County woman is sentenced to 12 years behind bars for her role in a fatal overdose death. Jackie Snow of Black River Falls pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit possession with intent to deliver heroin as party to a crime. She was involved in a drug delivery that led to the death of an Eau Claire man in 2017. At the sentencing, the district attorney noted that Snow had boasted about the heroin she was selling and that she knew the substance led to previous overdoses, but considered the loss of a life, quote, an acceptable risk. The Milwaukee site for a new youth prison, which is aimed to replace the long-troubled Lincoln Hills and Copper Lake youth prisons in Irma, has been approved by city officials. Taj Mahal has the story and tells us how the Irma community feels about this development.
This Milwaukee site for a new youth prison is one step closer to fruition, and Mayor Cavalier Johnson says pushing this forward has taken a bipartisan effort.
The
Republican governors like Scott Walker or Democratic governor like Tony Evers all agreed on this.
Mayor Johnson signed a zoning ordinance clearing the way for a new state juvenile correctional facility to be built at Clinton Avenue near 76th and Good Hope. This comes a week after the Common Council approved the proposal.
This is an opportunity for us to support young people in a way that hasn't been done before.
The new 32-room facility would replace Lincoln Hills and Copper Lake youth prisons at the site of a former vehicle emissions center.
Well, there is no timeline on measuring the success of the facility or the outcomes related to kids being moved closer to home. But what we hope will happen is that it starts to change the trajectory of juvenile crime in the city of Milwaukee.
State Department of Corrections Secretary Kevin Carr says the facility will serve as more than a prison.
The entire concept is predicated on being a more therapeutic environment and a more family-oriented environment.
Opponents have criticized the approval of the project during a time when the 9th District Alder seat is vacant. Some current candidates for that role say they've heard from residents who share those concerns.
They're scared that with this facility coming that it's going to devalue their homes.
So the no representation is a problem. They're pushing it through with opposition.
Wherever in the city of Milwaukee or in Milwaukee County even that a facility was proposed, there would have been some pushback.
But even with that approval, the new facility likely won't be operational until early 2026, more than 5 years after the deadline state lawmakers set for closing the Irma detention centers. Funding for education was one of the priorities Governor Evers spoke about in his State of the State address Tuesday night. Evers says he wants to work with state Republicans to redirect 20% of the state's sales tax revenue towards shared revenue. That's money that would go towards communities to fund public safety and schools. During the last election, Wisconsin had a near record number of referendums.
For years, communities have raised their own property taxes to keep their local schools afloat. And while some school districts have successfully passed a referendum to help keep the lights on, many have tried and failed.
Evers said he wants to deliver on a campaign promise to take money from the state's current budget surplus to invest in schools. Republican Speaker Robin Vos responded to the governor's speech, saying more money isn't the answer to increasing the quality of education.
Taxpayers make a huge investment already in our students, and we have a right to expect results. That's why we need to focus on quality over just spending more money. Government must do things differently if we have any hope of keeping our tax burden heading in the right direction.
Wisconsin's projected state budget surplus may now reach $7.1 billion by July. That's $500 million more than the previous estimate 2 months ago. Republicans want to use this time to move to a flat income tax, which would result in the state collecting about $5 billion less a year in taxes. And Evers wants a $600 million tax cut for the middle class. During his address, Evers says he wants nearly $1.5 billion to go towards clean water preservation, affordable child care, and workforce development. Evers says he will deliver his full budget plan in 3 weeks. Also part of Governor Tony Evers' proposal is to spend $500 million on mental health. The governor met with members of the Wisconsin United Coalition of Mutual Assistance Association at the Hmong American Center in Wausau. The governor says mental health doesn't discriminate and impacts communities across Wisconsin. Because of that, he's confident his initiative will be backed regardless of political party.
It has a direct impact on our economy and people's ability to work, stay at work, and frankly enjoy life. And so we want to make sure that we have the resources available to all communities so that they have the opportunity to take on issues of mental health.
In 2021, Evers awarded the organization $2 million to continue and expand its work to support mental and behavioral health services to minority entrepreneurs and business owners. A massive new sports book could make a Potawatomi casino hotel even more of a destination for gamblers throughout the Midwest. A mobile app is being developed, which is projected to be completed in about 4 months. People will be able to bet from their phones while on casino property. Casino leaders say this new expansion will help keep millions of dollars in sports betting revenue from leaving the state.
We'd love to, keep the money in Wisconsin, keep generating the tax dollars for the city, and keep this fun and exciting new avenue of gaming to the town and really paying homage to the sports that we see here.
When construction is finished, there will be 17 total kiosks at 2 locations open 24 hours a day. Gunderson Health System is helping people with diabetes or chronic pain maintain a healthy lifestyle. Next month, Gunderson will begin offering healthy living with chronic pain and healthy living with diabetes. The 6-week series of workshops will educate people on how to manage their condition. Experts say that it's a great way for people to connect with others going through similar situations.
It's always nice to relate to others going through similar situations, and so I think taking courses with those can make you feel less alone.
Both workshops are virtual. Chronic pain begins February 6th, while healthy living with diabetes begins on February 8th. There is a $30 enrollment fee, but scholarships are available. The Coulee Region Child Abuse Prevention Task Force is asking for your help deciding on a design for their next campaign. The task force asked 4th and 5th graders to draw a design that will go on a t-shirt and a billboard. They narrowed those submissions down to 3 and posted them on their Facebook page. Everyone can vote by liking their favorite, and their votes will be counted after February 1st.
Well, we are watching some snowy weather here across parts of the area. In fact, you can see here from our City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse, a couple of snow flurries going across the screen horizontally. And we are watching some of these snow showers over the last 6 hours taking shape now, mainly across portions of Trempealeau and also into Jackson County, even as far south now as La Crosse County here too, as we saw from City Cam. These are those snow showers that continue to move through. Now, also, we're watching portions of Monroe County, right around the Sparta and Cashion area, seeing a few light snow showers here too. Now for today, we're going to be around 24 with some scattered snow. Seasonable conditions here to work with as we head into tonight. 14 degrees will be our overnight low, with some more snowy weather beginning to move in from our next system, and south-southwest winds at around 10 to 20 miles an hour. Current temperature readings are mainly into the upper teens, low 20s across much of the Coulee region out there. And we're also watching some of these snow-covered roadways, anywhere between partially covered to completely covered. So make sure to keep that in mind here on your morning commute. We'll take a look at that drive cast. Got the yellow lights there for the morning with some of the snow showers moving through and partially uncovered roadways. Mostly cloudy for your lunch hour, and then everything comes to a close here by the time we reach late this afternoon and heading into your evening commute. Looking clear. We'll have a look at that final check on the full weather forecast that is next in weather. Dua?
Coming up in our Buzz Report, the secret agent that's making his return to video game consoles. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Well, still watching some light snow move in across the Coulee region. In fact, here from City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse, you can see some of those light flurries moving across the screen horizontally. And over the last 6 hours, we've been watching these snowy showers here develop across the area overnight here, and it continues to come down across our central zones from around Trempealeau east into Black River Falls into Jackson County. We're also watching La Crosse County and also into Monroe County for some of those light snow showers, and these are moving their way southeast into our eastern zones this morning. So we're seeing some scattered snow now beginning to fire up across portions of Vernon County, as well as even further areas off towards the south and east here as well. But we do expect some of the snow showers to decrease in coverage by the time we reach noon today. Just looking at mostly cloudy skies, temperatures at 20 degrees, followed by mostly sunny skies with temperatures at 20 still by the time we reach around 4 p.m. So we'll track it here on Sky Tracker, and you can see those snow showers moving their way towards the southeast and away from us here, especially by the time we reach around mid-morning, looking at all that snow coming to a close, and then we're just left over with mainly cloudy skies here for most of the early to mid part of the afternoon. But by the time we reach 2 o'clock, we start to see some evidence of some clearing back towards the west as some drier air begins to take shape, and that should help get rid of some of those clouds, especially for our western communities. By the time we reach around 4 p.m., we may even see some sunlight here in some spots. Now, by the time we reach 6 p.m., a lot of the cloud cover begins to increase here yet again, and especially into overnight, we could be looking completely either mostly cloudy or overcast out ahead of this next storm system that is expected to take shape here to our northwest and move in our general direction. This is an Alberta Clipper system that is expected to give us some snow showers once again overnight tonight and also into early tomorrow morning as the system continues to track in our general direction. Now behind it, it is going to be having a cold front associated with it, so we will be looking at some much colder temperature readings behind it as well. We'll get to your 8-day forecast in just a second. For now, though, current conditions in La Crosse look a little bit snowy out there. Temperatures at 20 degrees, and the same could be said here for Eau Claire as well. As we take a look at those current readings now, it's 19 in Winona and 20 the temperature currently in Viroqua, with our high temperatures expected to reach those low to mid 20s here in many spots here today. So much colder here for this afternoon, but we will be expecting more of a milder day for tomorrow with a high of 35 with some snow showers. Once again, that could last into early Saturday, and then we start to see some drier air move in through the rest of these next several days here Sunday onward, but it will be getting much colder though behind that cold front moving through. That's going to give us the snow here over the next couple of days, because behind it, very cold and chilly weather move in to drop down highs into the teens and lows below zero at times here too.
In our Buzz Report today, a classic James Bond video game is playable once again. Nintendo and Microsoft have announced GoldenEye 007 is heading back to game consoles. Originally released in 1997 for the Nintendo 64, the game will now be playable on both the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox. GoldenEye 007 will be available on Friday to Xbox Game Pass and Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack subscribers. Grammy-winning sensation Mary J. Blige is on the cover of People magazine's Black History Month issue. After 4 decades in the business, the 52-year-old singer has released 15 studio albums. Her latest, Good Morning Gorgeous, has been nominated for 6 Grammys. The Queen of R&B has also continued acting, and she is set to return to the Star series Power Book 2 Ghost next month. Well, we're heading to break with today's Look Who's 8.
That's right. We got a couple of birthdays to celebrate today. Our first one is to Emma, who is turning 8 months. Now, Emma is a sweet little girl, as you can see in the picture there, who lights up every room that she's in. I love the smile.
Happy 8th birthday to Briella. Briella loves playing basketball, soccer, and piano.
Well, if you know a special someone that's turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com. Look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website. Well, stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is up next. Gunderson Health System is helping people with diabetes or chronic pain maintain a healthy lifestyle. Next month, Gunderson will begin offering healthy living with chronic pain and healthy living with diabetes. The 6-week series of workshops will educate people on how to manage their conditions. Experts say that it's a great way for people to connect with others going through similar situations.
It's always nice to relate to others going through similar situations, and so I think taking courses with those can make you feel less alone.
Both workshops are virtual. Chronic pain begins February 6th, while healthy living with diabetes begins on February 8th. There is a $30 enrollment fee, but scholarships are available. The Coulee Region Child Abuse Prevention Task Force is asking for your help deciding on their design for their next campaign. The task force asked 4th and 5th grade students to draw a design that will go on a t-shirt and a billboard. They narrowed those submissions down to 3 and posted them on their Facebook page. Everyone can vote by liking their favorite. Votes will be counted after February 1st. After a 2-hour debate, the La Crosse School Board voted Monday to close Lincoln Middle School at the end of the summer. District representatives say they've been facing declining enrollment and underfunding for years. Superintendent Aaron Engel says closing Lincoln pulls $1.5 million off the district's budget deficit. He says La Crosse's middle schools operate at the lowest efficiency of all area schools. Maintaining the building, which is nearly 100 years old, is also costly.
It was such a hard, difficult decision because we are put in this place because the state legislature refuses to fund public education appropriately.
Board President Juan Jimenez said this Monday was the last chance to decide because of the referendum deadline. The $60 million referendum will be on the ballot this April. Central High School students are getting a taste of the workforce. Teens in the Architecture, Construction, and Engineering Academy will work together this semester to help build a house. The 2-year program will prepare high school juniors and seniors for careers in the construction industry. Students took a little break from their house project to visit J.F. Brennan in La Crosse. Brennan employees say that experiences like these help teens feel confident before entering the workforce.
It's really important that we engage those individuals and understanding there are a lot of really great careers in construction.
Throughout the program, students will have opportunities to job shadow and apprenticeship opportunities. Central students joined a boat dock project on La Crosse's south side. They say it's refreshing to work on a project near the river. Wisconsin Challenge Academy has reached 2 major milestones. The program is in its 25th year and they welcomed their 50th class. 140 newcomers arrived to Fort McCoy and said goodbye to their families ahead of their 5.5-month stay at Challenge Academy. Jeremiah Ritchie is a cadet in Class 50 and his grandfather Howard joined him for his send-off. As a Vietnam veteran, Howard knows that programs like these can be difficult at times, but he's confident that it could change his grandson's life forever.
I believe that if he succeeds in this, you know, he'll have no problem whatsoever doing what he wants to be, but he got to stay focused.
Approximately 92% of cadets finish the program and earn their high school equivalency diploma. 4,400 cadets have graduated over the years. Well, it's time for another round of La Crosse Soup. The Rivoli is hosting the crowdfunding event this evening. Everyone is invited to get a bowl of soup, and for $5, they can earn 1 vote towards a community project. Doors open at 5 p.m., groups will make their pitches at 6, and a winner will be announced at 7. Organizers say there will be a special movie screening after the winner is announced.
And as you head out the door this morning, we're still watching a few light snow showers move through parts of the area this morning, but it does look like we'll start to see some clearing, especially late this afternoon. High temperatures only at 24 degrees, a little bit milder for tomorrow with a high of 35, with some snowy weather once again moving in. That's from our next storm system that will bring us that next best chance of snow through early Saturday. And then behind it, much colder temperatures as highs drop into the teens here over the next throughout the rest of these next 8 days. And then after that, our low temperatures also begin to fall too, below 0 starting Sunday morning and continue through Tuesday morning of next week.
Well, today is a very, very sad day.
And why is that?
Oh, come on, Derek.
So, like, seriously? Why is it a sad day? Come on.
All right, so it's not a sad day. We're actually really excited. Today is our last day out here in the newsroom. Do you want to announce what's happening?
No.
No? Oh my gosh. Derek is just really enjoying giving me a hard time on this morning
fun.
show.
I gotta
I've
put
been
all
here.
The pressure
I
on
feel like,
you.
oh my goodness. Okay, so for all the viewers at home, we're going to be debuting our new set later tonight at 5, and so the morning show team will be here tomorrow in the new set. And so viewers at home, you can finally say goodbye to this angle. And as you can see, everyone here is super excited about it.
Including our very own Phil Addis.
Phil Addis, we've got one of our producers over there waving, Aaron.
Excited.
And our other producer, Dre's in the back giving us cues, so I'm sure he's also really excited. And he says it's time to get off air, so we'll see you later tonight. Bye.